What up, cocksuckers? It's episode 55 here on the MMA Podcast, August 7th, 2013, August 8th if you're over in the East Coast. Sorry about the delayed start, but we had a little fire alarm here where I'm staying. But let's get to this shit. We got a lot of MMA to get to, as always. UFC 163 was this past weekend. We saw Davis and Machida, somewhat of a controversial decision. We also saw Jose Aldo defend the belt once again against the Korean Zombie. A couple gruesome injuries to Aldo's foot and Zombie's shoulder in that one. As far as the news goes, it wasn't the busiest week, but we got a lot of segments to bring you. A World Series of Fighting card or some shit this weekend. I don't know. Let's do this shit.
You're listening to the MMA Podcast!
What's going on? This is the MMA Podcast. We are joined by the usual suspects, Ramses, Ross, and Yao. Really quick, if you do want to be a part of the show, and we do appreciate you listening, you can call in. We have been doing Wednesday nights recently, but there might be a little format change soon, as not next Wednesday, but the 2 Wednesdays after that, there are going to be UFC fights, and obviously we know if we try and counter-program the UFC, we're going to get our asses handed to us. Plus, we do want to break down the cards, not talk about them as they're fucking happening. We also want to watch them. So yeah, call in tonight if you are listening live. The number's 213-457-3380. The Skype is the MMA Podcast if you'd rather Skype us, or you can tweet us at the MMA Podcast. We'll read your tweet live on the air. As we usually are, we're joined by Ramses, Ross, and Yao. First and foremost, Ramses, will I turn down this annoying Dr. Drew show going on my goddamn television? Oh yeah, and I did briefly mention we were like a minute or two from going live, and probably the loudest fire alarm I've ever heard. Like, when I say my ears kind of ache, I'm not, like, that's not any exaggeration. So I was standing outside my hotel the last half hour, but we are back. We're doing this shit. We're live. It's a little late. It's 12:47 a.m. on the East Coast, 10:47 up here in the Rockies, but we're going strong. Ramses, what's the motherfucking word on the street? Cocksucker.
What's up, Jake, man? Yeah, good to see you didn't burn to death in that hotel fire, whatever the hell was going on. But
this is actually Jake's ghost. He did die.
I was going to say, maybe you actually did die, man, and this is all just fake right now. Maybe the world ended when Jake burned to death in that hotel fire. Anyway, my wife, she used to say I would never fucking amount to anything. My wife? In this life, all right? She told me I was going to be a nobody or whatever. She left me, whatever. But who's laughing now, bitch? I'm on the internet on an MMA podcast. That's the word on the street.
God damn. We also are joined by Yao the Truth, our resident MMA fighter. What the fuck's going on, Yao?
Not much. Just tired, as always. But I'm happy to be on the podcast. Thanks for having me, Jake.
Yo, thanks. Thanks for fucking coming on. I know you're training hard. It ain't easy, the life of an amateur MMA fighter. Another dude on the show who does train, he is the MMA Jew. He's cranking out the best posters in the biz. Ross, where do we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Ross Finkelstein, E before the L. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I will address the people.
Oh shit! I honestly have no idea what he's talking about, so that'll be pretty interesting hearing Ross address the people. We will do every topic in the same order we just did the intros. It'll be Ramses, and then Yao, and then Ross to cap it off. Save the best for last. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to visit MMAmental.com. Ray's doing some shit over there. He really might have probably one of the top, 2 or 3 shows in the UK. I mean, the top show is probably the ESPN UK podcast with that long-haired fuck, what's his name, Gareth Davies. But Ray, and I think he still has Luke Barnett over there, a member of Team Darkside. He knows what's up. Ray's doing some goddamn work, so check him out over there. And listen to the next MMA Roundtable whenever the fuck we decide to do that. Of course, along with the MMA Podcast, MMA Mental, and the Word on the Street. Let's get to it. UFC 163. It was this past weekend in Brazil. I believe it was in Rio de Janeiro at the HSBC Arena. The third or fourth event they've put on over there, and you know, I do really like, you know, it was probably just a year and a half or a couple of years ago, their first card in Brazil in years and years, and they've really dedicated themselves to doing multiple cards every year. I feel like this might be, the fourth or fifth Brazil card in 2013. The fans over there are rabid, and it's really good to see some UFC over there. Let's start with the Facebook prelims. We had 3 fights. Viscardi Andrade defeating friend of the show Bristol Murundi, unfortunately, in what might be Bristol's last fight in his current UFC stint, losing via TKO in the first round. You get knocked out in the Facebook prelims. I hate to say it, but that's not good news for you. Francimar Barroso defeated Edinaldo Oliveira in the light heavyweight division via unanimous decision. Ronnie Yanya defeated Josh Clopton similarly via UD in the featherweight division. Probably, you know, the obvious thing that stood out on the Facebook prelims was the one finish, but did anything else jump out to you guys on the Facebook prelims, cocksuckers? Oh shit, and looks like in the Skype call we are joined by Alan, so really quick, Alan, where the fuck do we find you?
You can find me on Twitter. It's the only place, Westland Eagle, AH.
Word, and we will fit you in after Ross, so the order we'll stick with is Ramses, Yao, Ross, then Allen. What did you think of those Facebook prelims? Did you even fucking watch them? I actually did watch these, but I will admit I am guilty of just skipping the Facebook prelims a lot of time, because the people usually don't matter to me. Here I was rooting for Bristol. He got knocked out, unfortunately. Honey, yeah, cocksuckers. He won the UD. Ramses, what'd you think of the Facebook portion of this card?
I actually did watch the fucking Facebook fights. I was eating a steak at the time though. So, you know, I was casually watching, but yeah, it was what we all expected. The Brazilians were just scoring those easy wins with those. I mean, that first fight, come on. It was a setup, people. The Brazilian just automatically right off the bat get the crowd pumped up off to a good start. It was cool, but bunch of mismatches as usual in this country. That's pretty much all I have to say about the Facebook fights. Yow.
Yeah, I didn't. You know, I'm guilty, just like Jake said. Sometimes I don't even watch the Facebook prelims. I didn't watch these, but I heard they were really good and mismatches. You know, the guys on the Facebook prelims, they get to set the bar. You know, they get to set the tone for what's to come. But I heard they did really well.
Yeah, my guy Edinaldo Oliveira, he didn't come through. I don't know where he went 13-0 because he sucks. Bristol Murundi, another bum. Hani Yaya fought a bum. Wasn't really impressive. I didn't like the Facebook prelims. Alan.
Yeah, like the rest of you guys, I was definitely upset with Bristol. I thought he was going to do really good at 170 because he had been fighting at 185. I don't know the other two guys, the Edinaldo Francimar fight, and then the Ronnie Yaya. They keep talking about him like he's going to fucking step up and be able to defeat a top 10 tier guy in his division when he's not. But that's something that stuck out to me is the commentary on that fight. They just like kept building him up. They were like, after this fight, after winning, 3 or 4, however many he's won in a row, he's gonna, they're gonna give him a top 10 opponent, and he might be a challenger in the division. So that's bullshit. The dude's a grappler. He's a world-class grappler, but, his stand-up, it's just not there. And he actually fights in a weight class above what he should fight at.
For sure, the Facebook prelims weren't really the most notable Facebook card we've seen in a while. Let's move to the FX card. Let's talk about those first 3 fights first, and then we'll move on to the final fight, because I think that Perosh Magalhaes fight deserves its own sort of talking point. But Ian McCall winning a unanimous 30-27, 30-27, 29-28 victory over Alarde Santos. Nice to see him get back in the win column after fighting Mighty Mouse, and Benavidez. Sergio Moraes defeating Neil Magny via triangle choke, and Neil Magny's a motherfucker, so Sergio going out there getting that first round triangle, that was very impressive. This wasn't one of those fights where they just sort of threw someone to a Brazilian that was a lot better than them, like they do a lot. And we also had Amanda Nunes defeat Sheila the German Tank Gaff via TKO elbows. Gaff, I believe, was the favorite in that one, but only lasted 2 minutes against the Brazilian. What stood out of those fights to you all? Sergio Moraes, who I believe was from that first tough Brazil season, looked very good. And of course, Ian McCall, friend of the show, love the guy. Nice to see him get the win.
Like I was telling you guys earlier during the Facebook prelims, I was eating a steak. So once it got to the FX stuff, having gorged myself on the delicious rare meat, I just started falling asleep, honestly. And nothing against the fighters. That's just what happened, and I'm not going to lie to you people. But I woke back up for the Magalhaes fight, but we'll get to that. So, I saw Ian McCall just do his thing, I guess, if you want to call it that. I think that was the only fight other than the Perosh Magalhaes fight. That was probably the only one I actually caught with one eye open, maybe. I got nothing to say about it, though. I'll just pass it to Yao. Sorry, people. I let you down.
Yeah, the only fight out of those that really stood out to me was the Sergio Moraes. That submission, that triangle that he got was amazing. I mean, the way he was able to transition into it was great. He was in Brazil. The crowd starts going crazy. It's like every time they go to Brazil, you're starting to see more and more like beautiful submissions. And I really appreciate jiu-jitsu, so to see it like that was pretty outstanding.
I have to agree with you. Probably the best performance on the entire FX card was Sergio Moraes. That triangle was absolutely beautiful. It was so slick, and BJJ is just fantastic to watch. Ian McCall, he looked fantastic. He looked unbelievable. His striking was incredible. His wrestling was good. His jiu-jitsu was good. He looked very good. Amanda Nunes, she looked pretty good. It was okay. Wasn't great.
Yeah, the Ian McCall fight, like I said, was really on point. And to think that he did all that with a broken hand, he landed 92 punches or 92 strikes. And, he was just, head movement. He kind of got lulled into, a slugfest towards the end. I was kind of getting worried because, Santos does have power. But, like y'all said, the Sergio Moraes fight, I watched him on Tough Brazil 1. He fought in the house at 185, fought some really big guys. And his jiu-jitsu is, fucking sick, how he, swept him with his arm. Just the consciousness of, that's a guy who's done that all his life, just knowing that he's in that position and to just reach out his arm and, sweep him. So that was really awesome. And then the Amanda Nunes, the Sheila Gaff. I thought Sheila Gaff was going to be able to come in and overpower and just use her, brute force to, beat Nunes. I'd never seen Nunes and didn't know how good of a, striker she was or counter wrestling, and she kind of surprised me. And then, with the shit talking afterwards was kind of cool. So, yeah.
Yeah, all of the bonuses coming in that FX card. You had the submission of the night going to that triangle by Sergio Moraes. The fight of the night going to Ian McCall versus Alarde Santos. No one really mentioned it, but Santos didn't look bad either. Ian McCall is a top 5 guy, definitely at 125. Santos definitely didn't win, but at the same time, it wasn't like he was being absolutely dominated. The other bonus, of course, going to Anthony Perosh for knockout of the night, defeating Vinny Magalhaes, 14 seconds. Pardon me. into the first round. Man, I think everyone on this call was rooting hard for Vinny Magalhaes, friend of Team Darkside, probably a member of Team Darkside. Yeah, of course he was one of the Team Darkside coaches during that tough season. He's a guy most notable for his victories in jiu-jitsu. He's made the transition over to MMA, was looking good, defeated Igor Pokerjak. But, he was a big favorite over Anthony Perosh, who hadn't really been doing that well. Magalhaes even said before the fight, if I lose to Perosh, I don't deserve to be in the UFC. Perosh knocked him out 14 seconds into the first round, which part of it was Vinny was swinging too, and Vinny was literally propelling himself into that punch of Perosh. But Magalhaes, we don't know whether he will see another fight in the UFC. He probably will, but it's not certain yet. Ramses, you were one of the loudest people to the Magalhaes horn, saying the Perosh family had already made funeral arrangements. Shit, what the fuck happened, bro?
Yeah, well, I didn't see this one coming. But I've done my homework here. Still haven't heard from Vinny himself. But from what I gather, what I've seen, the evidence that's been presented to me, yes, this fight was a conspiracy. All right. Here's the problem: Brazil. Those people, they don't really like Vinny that much because they thought he betrayed them when he trained Chael for the Anderson Silva fight. So he had that going against him. They wanted to see this guy lose. They wanted it, man. And in Brazil, like I said, man, they'll do anything. They'll poison your water if they have to. They'll fucking send hookers up to your hotel room. Not saying Vinny would ever do that, but they'll like, let's say you're just at a restaurant in Brazil, or you have your own food brought to you or whatever. You order a drink. And guess what? You're like, all right, it's just a drink. I'm seeing them pour it straight from the liquor bottle into the glass. Guess what? The ice cubes that they dropped, poison water. I'm not talking cyanide or anything like that. It's just got to be enough to get you diarrhea. You're already dehydrated, and then your stomach's all fucked up. You're done, man. I'm just saying something like that might have happened. They don't like him over there. He was not a crowd favorite. They think he's a backstabber when he was really just trying to make that dollar for his family. It's a damn shame. Anthony Perosh, I don't know what the hell was up with this dude. I don't know, man. That fight was just too ridiculous something was up, all right? I can't be the only person that was saying, what the fuck? That looked fishy. That's all I gotta say. What's up, yo?
Yeah, Ramses is right. Something might have been up. And that is a good point, him helping prepare Chael for that Anderson Silva fight. But at the same time, before the fight even, was close to happening, I was saying I wouldn't be surprised if Vinny lost. And he did, and I was not surprised. But I did not think it would happen like that. I mean, that was embarrassing. It was sad, a little bit funny. I know Renato Laranja was ecstatic going off on Twitter, but it was sad. Hopefully he does fight again, because I think he can, get the determination and everything back. But if not, he can make a run in the jiu-jitsu world again.
This motherfucker fucked up my night, fucked up my parlay, fucked up my prop bet.
A lot of people lost money.
All I can say, bum status, Alan.
Wow.
Everybody was hating on Anthony Perosh, and I seem to be the only guy who apparently has watched his fights, his last couple of fights, and I know Vinny was talking trash. I think that's where he made his mistake. But Anthony Perosh is a big guy. He used to fight at heavyweight. He fought Mirko Krokop and put up a fucking, showed his heart, because Mirko, gashed him open, had a 3-inch cut on his face, and he was bleeding everywhere. And Mirko didn't even want to keep striking him because he was so bloody. and Perosh just, stood in there. The doctor didn't stop it the first time, and he kept coming back. So, I don't think Perosh is as much as a bum as everybody, and Vinny was playing it up. Yeah, like y'all said, Vinny, he just kind of walked forward. His chin was right there. It got caught. Bigger guy fucking hit him, and you get caught right, you go down, and that's about it.
Yeah, that about sums it up. Let's move on to the pay-per-view. I actually mentioned earlier, I don't know if, I think it was before the podcast, that I never pick guys who miss weight to win, but John Lineker did just that, defeating Jose Maria via TKO in the second round. Thales Lates defeating Tom Kong Watson via 30-27 unanimous decision. And we had Cesar Mutante Ferreira looking very, very slick against Thiago Santos, winning the guillotine submission 47 seconds into the first round. Both his and Sergio Moraes' finishes via submission were very, very, very impressive. What stood out of those three fights to you, Ramses?
The steak was delivered to me, delicious, delivered to my front door. I'm telling you, I was out for these fights, man. I was just napping in and out, just pleasant after my meal, my drink, my cup. I don't even remember. Was it beer or was it wine? It was just so delicious, whatever it was. I wish I could just take up smoking cigars for these occasions, so I didn't see any of these fights. Sorry. Just a long story short. Yeah.
I totally missed the question.
I was asking what you thought of those first three fights on the pay-per-view, the fights that Lineker, Lates, and Ferreira won.
Oh, they were cool. I kind of expected. Well, I mean, this was a weaker card than we're used to seeing, but I mean, the fights were fine. It was a good appetite for what was to come.
Yeah, the mediocre card. This whole night just wasn't feeling it. Anything.
Yep.
I was excited to see Cesar Fiaro, or however you say his name, the Vitor prospect. He's the guy who had won Brazil, and he's just a fucking monster. He's huge, real long arms, very good for grappling, and his striking is, way beyond where it should be. And, he trains around guys, fucking, had the Black Zillions, and has got experience with them. So I wasn't surprised to see him win. The Thales Ladies and Tom Watson fight I thought was surprising because I expected Tom Watson to put up more of a fight, but I guess the first round when he got caught and the takedowns just wore him down to where he didn't have anything left. I mean, he showed some heart at the end in the third round when he wouldn't give up. He wouldn't tap out. Ladies had him in the submission for like 2 minutes, but yeah. Out of the three fights, the Cien Fiara or whatever his name is, that was pretty impressive, his submission.
Yeah, that probably stood out the most to me as well. Mutante looking very, very good. Let's get to the co-main event. Phil Davis and Lyoto Machida, a controversial decision. The first and second rounds were very, very similar. Davis sort of trying to find an angle on Lyoto. Lyoto countering very well. Lyoto probably had the first and second round won up until the last minute. And Davis in my eyes, in the last minute of the first two rounds, tied each round. I had the first and second rounds going 10-10. A lot of people thought Davis stole the rounds and won them. A lot of people thought Davis didn't win the rounds, but that's probably the contentious moment of the fight, because I think Davis landed a takedown on Machida with like 30 seconds left in both rounds. The first round he was able to get off some decent ground and pound. The third round was just characterized with, sort of like we saw the first 4 minutes of the first two, Davis trying to find an angle and Lyoto countering and scoring well. I actually saw it 30-29 Machida, but when I heard that Davis won the 29-28 unanimous decision, I wasn't that shocked, even though I thought Machida would have won the fight, especially, it being in Brazil. But yeah, surprising decision. What did you think of that fight, Ramses?
Look, people, I told you this whole entire card was pretty much going to be a disaster, a pile of piss. And it was. This Machida-Davis fight just exemplified the whole fucking... Davis and Machida were who we thought they were. And you guys let them off the hook. Well, actually, nobody probably paid for this. Nobody probably bought this shit. And that's the only positive about this fucking card. All right? And as far as, everyone's like, oh, Machida, Davis, they scored this and that. Who gives a fuck, man? The only reason this was a battle of the bums. The only reason that Phil Davis won is because they can't hand out two losses, right? That they have to pick a winner. That's the only reason Phil Davis won. They should have cut them both. The UFC doesn't need piece of shit fights like this anymore. Machida, all these fucking karate enthusiasts still backing him, believing him. Come on. Fool me once. You know the phrase. That's all I gotta say. This was a bum fight. Yao, what do you think?
Well, first I have to say, I did want Phil Davis to win. Not only did I want him to win, but I thought he would finish Lyoto Machida. Yes, I said it. I thought he would finish him, but he did not. And I was more surprised that it was 29-28 unanimous decision. I thought it was 30-27.
Like I said before, this card seemed to screw me left and right. This was just another robbery taken straight out of my hands. Money was taken out of my pocket, and that pisses me off. Machida clearly won this fight 30-27. This will not go unavenged.
Damn. The fake sounds angry. Alan? Officer Allen, pardon me.
You can just call me Alan. Y'all can drop the first part. I'm not on duty.
Sir.
After watching the fight the first time, I had the fight scored for Machida 29-28. But after watching the fight a second and third time without the commentary, which was really biased, I think what the judges were looking at was that most of Machida's strikes that landed, except for the flurry that he threw at the end of the first, didn't really do anything. They didn't do any damage. And Phil Davis, his strikes weren't doing that much damage either. But whenever he got him with the takedown, in the first and then the second round, the end of the second, he had such a dominant position in the second round that, if he would have landed that earlier, I do not think Machida would have ever got up. I think Machida could have finished the fight, but, he didn't get it any earlier. I think it, probably, should have went to a draw, really. I don't think that either guy should have won for their performance because I don't think enough was done by either fighter to give them a win. So scoring it for, this guy and that guy, I think that whenever it comes down to the bottom line that neither guy did enough to win. Both of them did something, but it wasn't enough. So I think it should have been a draw.
And I actually do have a stat of the day ready for Davis Machida.
Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Here comes the stat of the day!
Sure Dog, Dana White, Cage Potato, Fight Metric, Bleacher Report, MMA Weekly, MMA Junkie, Sports Illustrated, MMA Fighting, MMA Frenzy, Fifth Round MMA Convert, MMA Rising, Middle Easy, MMA Torch, and Fox Sports and Bloody Elbow all had Machida winning the fight.
Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Here comes the stat of the day!
Yeah, virtually nobody had Davis except for a few people on Twitter and obviously the judges. So that was one of those head-scratcher decisions. But like a couple of you and myself said, that wasn't a decisive victory for either guy. All right, finally we got Jose Aldo and Korean Zombie in a fight that left both dudes fucked up. Jose Aldo wins the fight via 4th round TKO, actually putting Sung Jung, I don't know if we heard officially whether he separated or dislocated his shoulder, but Jung was writhing in pain as Aldo finished the fight via TKO, as the Zombie laid there on the ground. And we actually found out after the fight that Jose Aldo broke his foot pretty badly, kicking Jung early on in the fight. A lot of people were questioning why we weren't seeing more kicks from Aldo, and it was because of that. Aldo also had kidney stones, which I really think this might be his last fight at 145. I mean, the dude. I mean, you get as a fighter, if you have kidney stones, the likelihood is it's from extreme weight cuts. He's said over and over that the cut to featherweight is a hard cut for him, and that he wants to move up to 155. I think he's going to do it, and I think we'll see it in his next fight. But Jose Aldo, most impressive featherweight of all time, and he's one of the greatest, pound for pound guys. He doesn't get as much press as a GSP or a Silva or a Jones, because he's a smaller guy, but Jesus Christ, he's just as impressive. No matter who you put in front of him, he wins and wins decisively. What did you think of the fight, Ramses?
This was when pop locking goes wrong, man. The Zombie's shoulder got blown out like he was Mel Gibson from the movie Lethal Weapon. It was a good fight, though. It was the only thing. It was probably one of the only good things I could say about this fucking card. The main event actually did deliver, although, I mean, I'm not a Jose Aldo foreign fighter, but this fight was just all right. But yeah, man, they're both so fucked up, man. The Zombie, his fucking other shoulder broke after the last injury he had. It made him sit out for almost a year. Was the opposite shoulder that broke. Now he's got basically just a broken back, people. That sucks for the Zombie. Oh, he also broke his fucking orbital as well. I didn't even notice that. And then you saw Jose Aldo's fucking foot. It's fucking swolled up again. This is like the third time he's broken it. Third time plus an infection of that same damn foot. I think it's going to start taxing him, man. It's going to take its toll. But yeah, this fight was just okay. I honestly wouldn't watch it again, though. You know what I'm saying? God bless. I think the Zombie's done. He probably shouldn't fight anymore, man. When you're getting that fucked up, he's basically after that fight, he looked like the fucking extra from the Thriller video. Yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah, the fight I enjoyed a lot, actually. I mean, it wasn't the most exciting fight, but it was great. The best thing for me, what I really enjoyed seeing was Aldo seeing Korean Zombie's arm go out and then immediately go and start kicking it. I mean, that's what you call, like, the term killer instinct gets thrown around a lot, but Aldo really has it. I mean, to do that to an opponent, like, okay, I see your arm is broken, I'm going to start kicking it. And that was amazing. To do something like that, you can't teach that. And that was amazing. I enjoyed it. Aldo is an inspiration. And I do want to see him at 55, because I think that if he moves to 55, I think he can do a super fight with George St. Pierre.
Jose Aldo is the man that came through for me on Saturday, and I respect him for that. I think Jose Aldo is very much one of the best fighters in the world, if not the best fighter in the world, pound for pound right now. He can't be beat anywhere. He beats everyone, and he dominates them. He was destroying Korean Zombie, honestly. He beat him in every single round. Those takedowns, he made him look so easy. And like Yao said, he has that killer instinct, and you can't teach that killer instinct. He saw his shoulder separate, and he went after it. And I mean, both guys left with injuries. Aldo broke his foot on that first kick, yet still went on to do what he did. It's amazing what he did, and that is a guy who's going to be champion no matter what weight class he's in for a very long time.
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect the fight to play out the way that it did. Korean Zombie didn't fight like the Korean Zombie. He didn't fight even like he fought against Dustin Poirier, which, was completely different than whenever he fought when he was in the WEC. He was more technical against Poirier, and we didn't even see that here because he wasn't aggressive at all. All he did was stand up and try to trade. He went for the 2 flying knees, which, didn't work. He was able to be taken down, which I didn't expect would be that easy. But I think his whole strategy, he had a strategy, and that was to wait till the 4th round and then start going for it, because in the 4th round, it seemed to be more active than, he had been the whole fight. And, I don't know whose game plan that was, but it was a really shitty game plan, because I think by not pushing the pace earlier in the fight, it wouldn't have done any good, because Jose Aldo wouldn't have been tired by the, 4th round, because at no point during the fight did they have any type of serious sprawls or, back and forth, sweeps or anything from any position. It was just, a stand-up boxing match with a couple of takedowns thrown in there. I think Korean Zombie, I think it was a terrible move for him to come back and take this fight. I understand it's a title fight, but if you looked at him whenever he was stepping into the octagon, he always gets down on his knees and says a little prayer, but he looked visibly nervous, I had never seen him before.
Even God couldn't save him.
Exactly. But I think it was a terrible move for him to come back and fight Jose Aldo after having been out all this time. I think he definitely should have taken another fight or turned down the title fight. Jose Aldo looked great. He made wasn't able to use his feet or whatever until he saw Zombie's shoulder pop out, and then he sure did kick him a whole bunch of times. But that was the most aggressive we saw Jose Aldo in the whole fight. So, I watched the fight. His foot wasn't that swole up during the fight as it was afterwards. So he might have broken it during the fight, but I think he probably hurt it worse whenever he kicked Korean Zombie several times. But yeah, I see him moving to 155. I don't know about being the champion at 155 because I still think Anthony Pettis can beat Jose Aldo. I don't think Jose Aldo can beat Anthony Pettis. So
yeah, and we will see whether this is his last fight at featherweight for his current title stint, whether he ever returns. That is all up in the air. I think that does UFC 163 in case anybody has anything else to add in. Nope. Let's get on to the news and Lyoto Machida drinking ladies' piss and shit. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We teased it on Twitter. Lyoto Machida, as we know, believes in urine therapy, which is drinking your first piss of the day. Apparently, there is belief that there is important minerals and nutrients in your first piss of the day, so you drink it. Apparently, in a recent interview, Lyoto Machida drank a female reporter's piss and then asked her to drink his. I don't know if she did or not. I didn't read into the story. I actually saw it really recently. Yeah, I can buy the whole drink your own piss because you're crazy and you think it helps, whatever. But drinking other people's piss, this is starting to get really weird. Ramses, what are your thoughts on this?
I love Machida now, even though he's putting up shit fights, man. He's the golden dragon, if you will. He's bringing piss back into the mainstream, and that's where it needs to be, man. We need to be more open about piss.
The golden dragon.
That's right, man. You ever been in a relationship with a girl? You've done everything, almost everything. Every type of position or whatever. And then one day you're like, man, I love this girl so much. I'm so in love. All I want to do is piss on her. Machida, man, he's bringing it back into the mainstream. God bless him, dude. And that Babe reporter looked like Adriana from The Sopranos. That was an extra bonus for you people. Listen, if you're out there and, you've ever pissed before in your life, what's the difference if it's in the toilet or on your lover? You know what I'm saying? That's the word on the street there. Piss is in. It's the newest craze out on the streets. Just ask anybody. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna pass on this one because Ramsey's just that was amazing. I'm gonna pass.
You can't really follow that.
Yeah, it's very difficult to follow the great Ramses, and I will not try to follow, but I will say this. That is what Machida has to do. Machida has literally resorted now to drinking other people's piss because he just got robbed on Saturday, and it's disgusting.
Oh yeah. Wait, I just hate to jump in here, but yeah, I actually tweeted a stone thought that I had. If Machida is on steroids, he's on the juice or whatnot, but he drinks clean piss, won't he piss the clean piss and pass the piss test?
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure. And Alan, man, you've maybe seen people try to pull this. I don't know. What do you know about piss tests?
I don't know. I take lots of random piss tests at work. They always make us go and pee. And I don't know, man. That's just fucking sick. I'm sorry. Drinking your own piss, that's gotta be some low down fucking dirty shit to actually piss into a cup, put it up to your mouth, tip it back.
Well, it's still hot.
And fucking feel it going down your fucking throat. I mean, that is... I can't even imagine that shit. That's fucking disgusting.
Well, it sounds like you can imagine it because you just described it in great detail.
Well, I'm trying to follow Ramses, even though that's a really fucking hard thing to do. I'm trying to, at least do something. These other guys are wussing out, not trying to follow him, so I'm trying to put up somewhat of a commentary.
You're a good man, Officer Hamilton.
It's disgusting. You're disgusting.
Yo, let's move on. This weekend we don't have any UFCs or any Bellators, but we do have World Series of Fighting 4, Tyrone Spong versus Angel Dianda. We also are seeing Jared Papazian, Antonio McKee, Gerald Harris, and Jorge Santiago on the prelims on Sherdog. Nick Newell will be fighting Keon Caldwell in the main card. Marlon Moraes fighting Brandon Hempelman. You got Ray Sefo pulling a Vince McMahon. The president's going to be fighting for his own goddamn company. Sefo is going to take on Dave Huckabee in the heavyweight division. And in the co-main event, you got Tyson Griffin and Jay-Z Cavalcante. Some pretty decent fights, actually. Nothing, obviously, that I'm as excited for as a lot of these upcoming UFC fights, which we will get to. The fights we're pumped for August a little later. But yeah, WSOF 4. Do any of these fights interest you, Ramses? I think you blew us away last time. What do you got to say about World Series of Fighting?
Actually, on this one, I've got nothing. I will pass it. Just the world. I don't know any of these people. Call me a UFC fanboy if you want, but I just know I appreciate the production on a good fight as well. To me, it is more WWE. I have to keep reminding you. So yeah, World Series of Fighting. I haven't seen anything impressive so far, except when John Fitch came out and just dove headfirst into that choke in 30 seconds. That was cool. I probably won't even watch this, to be honest. But yeah, what's up with this fight?
Look, people, there's only one fight on this card you need to worry about, and that's Tyrone Spong fighting. I don't even know who he's fighting. He doesn't even care who he's fighting. He just goes out and fights and knocks people out, and he'll do the same thing on this weekend's card.
Yeah, this card is it's pretty good. There are some pretty good fights.
That sounds like a John fucking Ograzuski. Yeah, it's pretty good. There are going to be some good fights. Jono.
Just, I haven't been feeling good since last Saturday, and I'll get to that in a little while, but, Nick Noel is going to make his debut for WSOF. He's the one-handed fighter. He's fighting, I don't even know who he's fighting, honestly, but it's going to be fun to see him make his debut. Tyson Griffin is fighting Jay-Z Cavalcante. That's an awesome fight. I can't wait to see that. And, of course, Tyrone Spong, the main event. that's a guy to look out for. The UFC wants him. I think he'll be in the UFC by next year. So look out for that.
I don't really know any of the people on this except for Tyrone Spong, just because who he trains with. I've heard of Nick Newell, the one-on midget arm dude, whatever you want to call it, handicap guy.
Wow.
Quado, the dude that's got an arm that looks like it belongs to Quado.
Captain Hook.
Have you ever looked at his hands?
Yeah, man.
I try not to.
It's pretty fucked up.
It's just creepy, man.
Yeah, when that shit's wrapped around your throat, I'd freak out too. I wouldn't know how to fight him. I know
it's like a baby hand. It's like a little baby hand on the end of a nub, like touching you. That's why he wins all of his fights, because he gets guys in position, and then they look and they see that and distracts them and fucking submits them.
Has anyone seen Scary Movie 3? Has anyone seen Scary Movie 3 on the call?
No, I tapped out on 2, man. No.
All right, I won't go too deep into
I'll
it,
watch
but
it tonight.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Nick Newell fares in the World Series of Fighting. That's definitely the card to watch over the weekend. Speaking of which, we've been bringing you this new segment. The viewers are going crazy about it. Viewers are requesting it. We got $1 million man on the show giving us betting tips. It's all you, Fink.
Ladies and gentlemen, this weekend we've got one fight card. It's not a betting card. Even if you're retarded, even if you're not retarded, it's not a betting card. There's only one fight so far. The full lines have not been released. They usually get released the day before or the day of. The only fight worth betting on here is the Dave Huckabee Ray Sefo fight. Dave Huckabee is a veteran of MMA. He's 20-5. Ray Sefo is not. Ray Sefo is 42 years old. Dave Huckabee is 39, but Ray Sefo is 42 years old. The guy I don't see him beating someone like Dave Huckabee. And you can get Dave Huckabee for plus 225. That's a fantastic bet. I think he's going to get him down, submit him, or tire him out. Doesn't matter. He's going to win this fight. Other than that, there really isn't anything. But, I got to recap what happened this past weekend. And, I'm fucking sick of it. I'm coming out and saying it. I screwed you all. I screwed everyone. I picked the worst bets you can possibly have. And why'd I do it? Because I don't want anybody to be like me. I don't want anybody to have the wealth that I have. I am a Jew. I am greedy. I will not bring the Jew to you. I am coming for everyone. Vinny Magalhaes, he's a bum. I knew it all along. I'm not gonna bring the Jew to you anymore, people. You all betrayed me. I don't respect you. That's all I gotta say.
Wow. I thought he was leading my faithful viewers down a good path, but apparently Fink, he has ulterior motives. But you know what? It is the highest grossing segment, or second most highest grossing segment to Ramsey's Fight Tips of all time. So we got to keep it going. Viewer discretion advised. If you want to take his picks, you can, but always know the Fink's always playing an angle, cocksuckers. Let us move on. Alistair Overeem, he still wants to be the heavyweight champ, taking on Travis Brown, coming off a loss to Bigfoot Silva. Does he still have a chance to get the title, or is there no way he's able to make it by these top guys like Fabricio, Cormier, JDS, Kane? What I'm saying, will we ever see Overeem wear that UFC strap?
Yeah, Overeem, man, he is approaching bum status, but he's not there yet, all right? Travis Brown and Overeem, they both lost embarrassingly to Bigfoot, so we're going to find out which one of them one of them gets like a half redemption. They got to rematch Bigfoot if they ever want to get their pride and honor back, to tell you the truth. So look for that fight. That's the word on the street. But yeah, I think Overeem's going to take this one. He's looking good. He's tweeting pics of him. He's obviously juicing himself up to the gills. God bless him. He's probably got a new coach, quote, coach, just helping him with the cycles. He's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Easy money. Definitely bet on him. That's what I got to say.
Yeah, I definitely think Alistair Overeem can win the UFC championship belt. He's a different fighter than everyone in the heavyweight division, just like some guys are, but I definitely think Overeem can beat any of the top 5 in the heavyweight division. He brings a different package than everyone else. And I still want to see him face Junior Dos Santos. That fight was supposed to happen. They do not like each other. And I think he can beat Dos Santos. So he can beat Cormier. He can beat especially Verdum. He can beat any of the people they match him up with.
You still with us, Ross?
Yeah, I'm here. I was muted. Overeem's a great fighter. He definitely has a chance of getting that belt. I don't see him ever beating Kane. Or do I see him beating Kane? I don't know. As a matter of fact, I actually think Travis Brown is going to beat him. So bet on Travis Brown. Bet all your money on Travis Brown.
I think Overeem's going to come into this fight with a different mindset. I think he knows that, if he loses this fight, his championship hopes are done. So I think he's going to come in here. I think he's going to be aggressive, more so than his last fight in the first 2 rounds. I think he'll try to finish Brown if he can, if he sees that opportunity. But I definitely think he has way better striking than Travis Brown, stand-up wise, boxing and kickboxing, and I think he's going to try to keep him at distance and use that. I see Overeem probably finishing Travis Brown in the second. TKO strikes.
TKO strikes Overeem in the second. Let's move from Overeem. Let's talk about the fights we're pumped for August 2013. It's a pretty loaded month. We got UFC 164, UFC on Fox Sports 1, UFC on Fox Sports 2. My fight I'm pumped for is actually headlining UFC on Fox Sports 2, whatever the fuck they're calling it, UFC Fight Night 34, 27, I don't know. I'm talking about Carlos Condit and Martin Kamen too. Kamen is a gamer. He's an absolute beast. But Carlos Condit, he has the skill level to probably be a champion in any other division. But in that stacked welterweight class, probably the most stacked class in the UFC, I think he's third best. I don't think he's as good as GSP and Hendricks, but that's how good that division is. After Condit gets through Kamen, I'd love to see him rematch Rory. But yeah, Carlos Condit, Martin Kamen. I have Condit in this one, but this is not going to be one of these Lyoto Machida co-main event snoozers we've seen. This isn't going to be an Evans versus Henderson. This is going to be a fucking war. Condit Kamen 2. Watch it.
The fight I'm pumped for, of course, it's obvious, people. It's going down in 10 days, 9, depending on where you're located now. 9 days from now, UFC on Fox Sports 1, the main event, Sonnen versus Showbum, people. It's going to be all over. He's going to retire that fucking Brazilian. One more Brazilian, just another notch on his belt, man. I can't say, I will be spending the rest of the next 9 days bashing Showbum. So more will be, I'll reveal all that shit later. But that's the fight. Everyone's looking forward to it. Fuck you, Time Warner, for not fucking carrying the channel yet. Fuck you and the Culinary Union, that women's organization, whatever the fuck's going on, trying to keep Chael from fighting. Fuck them too. This fight is going down no matter what. I will watch it no matter what. I'll find a way. That's all I can say.
Yeah, Dana gets mad at the fucking fans who try and find shit on the internet. You know what? How about we have these cocksucker billionaire companies come to an agreement? I have DirecTV, like Time Warner. I'm not sure if we're going to get UFC on Fox Sports 1 because they're still in a disagreement. Man, fuck all of these money-grubbing bitches. Yao, what fight are you pumped for?
Yeah, the fight I'm most pumped for in August is seeing my man Uriah Hall from Queens, New York, just like me. Kill, I don't even know who he's fighting, but in Boston, he's fighting on the main card, and he's going to win in Mortal Kombat fatality, devastating fashion.
Yeah. Is he going to rip his spinal cord out of the back of his head?
He just might, and go after that UFC kill bonus.
That is one of the biggest secrets in the UFC. If you kill a man in the octagon, you get a $50,000 bonus. Ross, what's your fight you're pumped for?
Listen, folks, the fight I'm pumped for, and you should be pumped for too. Actually, no, you shouldn't. You shouldn't be pumped for anything I'm pumped for. It is Pettis Henderson 2, or Henderson Pettis 2, as they entitled it, but we all know who the rightful champion is. This fight is going to tear the universe apart. It's going to... I actually think every plane is going to crash into the ground because of this fight. This is going to change the world. And the first fight was amazing. This fight's going to be amazing. It's in Pettis' hometown of Milwaukee. Crazy shit's going to happen. Spend the money. Buy it. That's all I got to say.
That's all he's got to say, cocksuckers. Alan, we didn't get with you before the show, but I have a suspicion I know what fight you're most excited for August. What is it?
Yeah, I think we all know the answer to that question is definitely going to be Chael P. Sonnen, the American gangster, and from Westland, the man of artist arms and the mostest charm. Going to take on Shogun, the legend. It used to be Hua. And, yeah, it's going to be an amazing fight. I'm going to be there, front row, watching the fight, going nuts. Probably going to be on TV again. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I'm pumped for it.
Those are the fights we're pumped for August. And actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and knock out another segment. We got a buttload of segments today. We got our 10 solid seconds of sports, where I talk all things that's not MMA in the world of sports in 10 seconds. Here we go. Oh, Riley Cooper's still a racist. Hernandez is still a murderer. A-Rod's still a cheater. Johnny Football's still an idiot. And sports is still boring as shit because we're in the doldrums of summer. Fuck. Fuck. Alright, let's move on. Speaking of fucked up shit, we got Michael Bisping. Look, I am all about trash talking, but there are times when that line is crossed, like when Frank Mir said he literally hopes Brock Lesnar dies. Michael Bisping fighting Mark Munoz, a guy who just came out of a depression, gained a lot of weight, was very depressed after losing that fight. Pardon me, that was delicious. To Chris Weidman. Bisping is vowing to send him into a second depression, which on surface level is really kind of funny. But damn, that is a low fucking blow. Did Bisping take it too far, Ramses?
I can't. I wish I could do an English accent, but that's like one accent that I've never been able to do. But yeah, his Michael Bisping's insult, his call out to Mark Munoz is he's gonna put him back into depression. That is a very odd choice. It's very bizarre. I wish I could do the accent, man, but I can't. If anybody out there is British, call in or something. But yeah, this is ridiculous.
Ray, we know you're listening.
Yeah, Ray, yeah, we're gonna have him do it. It's like basically the equivalent of him like saying like I'm gonna put you back on Prozac, motherfucker. Like, it's odd, man. It's a weird one. I think Michael Bisping might be running out of material. Yeah.
No, I don't think he took it too far saying that. I mean, it is kind of messed up, and I see why it would have a lot of people, raising an eyebrow or whatever. But me personally, I don't think he took it too far. I think you can say whatever you want as long as, it's not going to get you suspended or anything, like the word fag or whatever. But he didn't take it too far.
Michael Bisping should watch his words, because there's going to be a Filipino gangster who's going to beat the shit out of him if he doesn't shut his mouth. I think he's going to get stomped. I think he's going to eat his words on October 29th, I think it is. Whatever date it is, he's going to lose. Who gives a shit what he has to say? Munoz is the man.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that he went too far. It's open game. We're grown men. If you can kick a guy who's injured in the middle of the octagon, then you can make fun of him for going into a depression and gaining weight and getting fat. But I don't think that Michael should be saying all this shit, because I definitely think that Munoz has the ability to take him down and control him on the ground. And we all know that Michael's chin has been suspect as of late. The only way I see Michael even having a chance to, stop this is with his, stand up with his boxing. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with him trash talking. I actually think it's kind of comical. I probably would have went there myself.
Yeah, and Munoz did look really impressive in his last fight. We'll see if he can keep on roaring back against Michael Bisping, the Brit, probably the most popular fighter in the UK. Sticking to the middleweights, Roger Gracie cut from the UFC. Did he deserve it, or would you have rather seen, Roger Gomez get another chance?
He wasn't a true Gracie, all right? It was some real greaseball shit what happened to him. They had to take him out. It was revenge for Billy Bats. Yeah, I got nothing else to say about it.
Apparently Yao doesn't either. Ross, what do you think?
I refuse to mention this bum in my vocabulary. Please pass.
Damn, no one wants to talk about Roger Gracie. Alan?
I can make it unanimous, and you can pass on that bum.
Damn, well, I don't know if we got any more news to break down, but goddammit, we do have a fight tip coming from the boy Ramses. It's all you, buddy.
Oh, yeah, thanks. I'm here with another fucking fight tip, people. Right before we went live on this goddamn podcast, someone was like, I was like, what do you guys want to know? What sort of deadly techniques can I put out there on the street? And someone was like, well, how do you fight someone who's dancing? I don't know what he was talking about, but I'm assuming he meant how to fight somebody in the club. You ever been out to a dance club? Listen, here's just some general, no really techniques here, but just some guidelines here when you're at the club. And, when you go to a fucking club, first of all, I don't know why you would be out there. I got a bum knee, so I don't do much dancing these days. But anyway, if you do go to a club, first thing you do, you're walking into the fucking door, you tip the doorman $5-10, depending on what kind of man you are, Tip the doorman when you walk in, assuming you're going to get into a fight later with somebody. And that way, when the doorman comes in, because they're also the security guard, basically, they come in to break up the fight, who do you think they're going to grab and give a hard time to? The guy that tipped them $5 or $10? No. Alright, so that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, when you go to the club, don't ever go with a bitch that you actually care about or love. Never go to the dance club with a girl that you're not willing to walk away from in 5 seconds and abandon. Alright? I can't stress this enough. These girls dance. They're a whore. All they want to do is show off to other men. Why else would they be dancing out in public? Why not just dance for you, right there, in the living room, while you're on the MMA podcast? Fuck that. You're a whore, you gotta be ready to walk away. Anyway, when the confrontation does go down, people try to start a fucking scrap with you. What you do, you gotta use everything around you, like, if you got a drink, of course, before the scrap starts, you pour that in their fucking face. Another good tip, I've had to do this a couple times. I drink pure Everclear, so I just pour that on the motherfucker, get a match from the bar, just light them on fire, run the hell out of there. And when you're exiting the fight, you always have to go out the back exit, because the cops always come in through the front. And that's what security guys and doormen are. Don't ever break for the front after you kill somebody. You have to go out the back exit. That's just the basics of going out to the club, all right? But don't do it, all right? These whores, they're everywhere. It's disgusting. That's the fucking fight tip. See you next time at the dojo.
That's right, motherfuckers. Like I mentioned before, it was kind of a slow week of MMA. I can't think of any other topics. Anyone have anything else?
Fox Sports 1 going shit.
Yeah, Fox Sports 1, we're seeing lots of injuries. Nick Ring pulled off the card. Thiago Alves pulled off the card. Sarah McMahon pulled off the card. Shit. Anyone else? Sonnen, shit.
They're trying to fuck up Sonnen,
let's
and
talk about
it's not
this.
even on Time Warner.
Chael Sonnen, still unlicensed for UFC Fight Night 26. It's going to be in 10 days, and Chael is still awaiting the commission's ruling. Holy shit. On Thursday, a closed-door meeting of the Massachusetts State Boxing Commission, spurred by a union complaint, will determine whether Chael P. will be able to fight at the TD Garden Center in Boston. What do you think happens, Ramses?
Obviously, we all know, read between the fucking lines. The right palms have to be greased. Some money has to exchange hands tomorrow, or else this whole thing's in jeopardy. Right? Time Warner's already got the UFC and Fox by the balls, alright? They're not even signing on to air the channel yet until they get their deal, their little taste of Sonnen's fight. I feel sorry for Chael, man. How many fucking ways does he have to split the pie? It's getting ridiculous. Everyone's got to get their taste of a Chael fight. Fuck that. He is the original gangster. He's now the Godfather doling all this shit out under the table. This is ridiculous, but the fight will happen. Fuck you, Time Warner. Cut off my cable. Do whatever you got to do. You're not going to stop me from bad-mouthing you if you don't add Fox Sports 1 by August 17th, motherfuckers. Word on the street.
And what's kind of funny about it, from what I've read, the commission will be sitting down, and they will hold a meeting after its regular session to determine whether Sonnen is appropriately using testosterone replacement therapy. But apparently the complaint came in from Unite Here. You guessed it, a union based in New York. These fuckers are not only trying to take money from the UFC, but they're trying to take money away from their fighters. But yeah, the complaint was lodged by Unite Here, a union based in New York and Washington. And interestingly enough, the complaint is not directed at Sonnen's TRT use, but rather his conviction in 2011 on a single federal charge of money laundering, and states the commission has the right to deny his license based on a conviction involving moral turpitude. And I pulled that info off of MMA Junkie. Thanks for that report. But shit, Yao, are you sweating a little bit? Ross, or Alan, you dropped a pretty penny on this fight. What are you gonna do if for some reason Sonnen gets swept out of it? But we'll start off with Yao, then Ross, then Alan.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to think that, the fight is, 10 days away? It's kind of hard to think that he still isn't licensed to fight. These guys, Shogun and Chael, have been training very hard for this fight, and for it to not happen would be ridiculous. So, I don't know why it would take this long. That's insecurity right there. You don't know if you're going to fight or not. So, it's hard for me to think that they don't know if the fight will be on or not. I think it is. I think this is just some drama or whatever. But if they do happen to be pulled off the card, it's fine, because Overeem will be bumped to the co-main event, and he'll put on a great show. Black Zillions.
Did you say Black Zillions? What just happened?
Yes.
Apparently that just happened, and Yao might end every single MMA rant he goes on with the word Black Zillions. Ross, what do you think? Black Zillions.
I think I need to make a drive to Boston tomorrow to take care of a couple of people. That's what I think I need to do. If Chael Sonnen is not given his license, if this card goes to shit, there will be hell to pay. Alan?
Oh, I wasn't able to
Yeah.
cue up the Halloween theme song in time. God damn it. Go ahead, Alan.
I ain't worried about it. Also, one of the groups that's pushing this is called Massachusetts Now. It's a women's rights group who's arguing that Chael is a wrong type of moral representation, how he's bashed minorities in the past, and you know, stating the thing with his conviction. And also one of the things that they stated was him having tested positive for a banned substance was their exact quote, which is totally inaccurate because he did not test positive at any time for any banned substance. He tested over the ratio allowed for TRT, which is not a banned substance. So right there, the fact that they put that out there and misrepresented his character as saying that he had been, you know, had done something like that and made a false allegation against him, I think that it'll be shot down. He doesn't have anything to worry about. And also will be...
Let's call them right now. Actually, the
yeah, I have their
now.
phone number.
It's
not
dialing.
They're not going to answer.
Oh, it's dialing right now, people. Sorry, I hope you don't mind, Jake.
I
Go
called
ahead,
like
Ramses.
7 times today.
This is all you.
What
I
is
got their
it?
address too.
That's interesting.
Massnow.org for anybody listening. Mass, MASSNOW.org.
Please leave your message after the tone.
Hey, what's up? I'm just a huge Chael Sonnen fan living in Austin, Texas. Represent. It's bad enough that I got Time Warner on my case. Now I got to deal with with you broads trying to keep Chael Sonnen from fighting here at the Boston card August 17th. This is nonsense. It's ridiculous. What are you people doing? He's got a wife and he's got kittens, a dog. Danger Waffles himself. And you people are trying to deny. How's this fucking dog gonna eat, man? Who's gonna pay for the kittens?
Who's going to put food in the bowl?
When they get those eye infections? Because you know they're all sniff. You get that kitten sniffly nose or whatever. What is he supposed to do? All right. And plus, you guys were wrong about one of your facts or something. I have an officer of the law on right now. It's ridiculous. And he's even saying you're accusing this man, Chael Sonnen, of the wrong shit. You don't even have your facts straight, people. All right, you broads, I don't know what it is, and you know, I'm not sexist, but you make me hate women now. Stop making me hate women. Stop it. That's all I got to say. You can call me back, hit me up on Twitter, The Aunt Jimmy Show, or the MMA Podcast. Thank you. Stop it. Stop it. Steak, medium rare.
And we've officially just ruined Chael Sonnen's chances of being licensed.
These broads, man, I don't know what their deal is. Sorry, Jake.
That was fucking amazing. I was gonna say, yeah, they did have the false allegation of him testing positive for a banned substance, but at the same time, I mean, yeah, Sonnen, it's like Sonnen didn't get caught with the loot, but he got caught with the exploding dye pack all over his hands. He didn't test for a banned substance, but goddamn, his levels were high as fuck. Goddamn, that exploding dye pack was everywhere. We got a tweet from.
Yeah, OJ's blood was everywhere, but did he kill Ronald Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson? Of course not.
I don't know if you want to draw that comparison.
You must acquit.
Damn.
Right, man.
If the TRT levels ain't, or if the T to E level ain't low, you gots to go. Shit. Ross, I did want to get back really quick. You were saying you were going to go to Boston. You were not really clear about what you were thinking about doing. Could you clarify this Boston trip?
Murder.
I have to visit some people at the Athletic Commission. I have to visit some people for a nice chat at this women's rights club. So I will take some souls.
Damn, that's fucked up. Well, I think we've beaten this topic to death. We will find out tomorrow. And it's, I mean, honestly, 90% chance he does get licensed, so I wouldn't worry about it. If he does get the license pulled from him, that would be some crazy, like Nate Marquardt getting pulled out of that versus card, which it's so funny too. I think that Marquardt got, like, it was such a giant deal when Marquardt got cut for TRT, and now it's pretty normal for most fighters to be doing it. But I think unless we got any other topics, that's it for tonight. I'm gonna wait and play the outro until the end of all of our Twitter shoutouts, because we did have a request to listen to the entire song, which we actually should, because Jiu-Jitsu by Smoke Serpent, look it up on YouTube. Smoke Serpent is the band that Eddie Bravo's in. We do want to have Eddie on sometime in the next couple months, but we've been using this song as our intro and outro every single week for 55 episodes, and it's not changing anytime soon. That's a hell of a song. But Ramses, where do we find you? What's the word?
Follow me on Twitter, The Ant Jimmy Show. The Ant Jimmy Show on Twitter. And then we'll have a fucking podcast going down tomorrow night. I believe 9 p.m. Central, whatever. It don't matter. Just follow me on Twitter and you'll figure that shit out. The Ant Jimmy Show. It'll solve all your problems. You know, you probably have fucked up to this point in your life. But if you follow me on Twitter, that's like step one, all right? That's all I got to say. That is the word on the street.
What about you, Yao?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Yao_the truth. That's YAO_the truth. And just read along.
Fuck yeah, Ross. Where do we find you on the Twitters, the Instagram? I don't know if you got an Instagram. You're making posters. Where do we find all this shit?
You can find me on Twitter at Ross Finkelstein, E before the L, as Jewishly as possible. Instagram, don't follow me there, please don't. Follow me on Behance at Ross Finkelstein. You don't know what the fuck Behance is, and if you do, I'm impressed.
What is Behance?
Find out, behance.net/Ross Finkelstein.
Damn, that's right. And is it like the letter B and then like Hans? Like, I don't like, what is this?
B-E and then Hans. It is BEHANCE.net/Ross Finkelstein. E before the L.
What's this guy talking about?
That's right, cocksuckers. All right, Alan, Officer Alan, we'll finish it off with you. Where do we find your ass?
You can find me on Twitter. I am Westland Eagle AH. That's it.
That's it. That's all. Follow us on Twitter, the MMA Podcast. We'll see you tomorrow on The Word on the Street. We'll see you next week with the MMA Podcast. Thanks for listening to MMApodcast.com. I love the shit out of anybody listening to this. God damn it. You keep it going. We keep it going. We all love each other in this big, gay, happy fucking family. We gone.
Gracie Veterano, old family first, fam. Taught the world to swing that double-edged sword. It works, fam. BJJ from GJJ, like Cool Herc gave birth to what your DJ plays. But despite the lineage, I will never be closed-minded. Refuse to see beyond the lines, you go blind. Rocker travels the 10th planet, I flow free. I'm welcome on mini-mats, gi to no gi. Though my branch traces roots to the original tree. Roots sprouted from the original seed. Water with blood, sweat, and tears. Spotlight with sunlight. That tree became a forest, Ballet Tudo done right. Then Hoist dominated them all in one night. And hate song hasn't been beaten in one fight. Flow with the gold, in a hit on an holly note. That to continue to win, we must continue to grow. Let's go. We did it, mama. We did it. We did it for the love of the game. We did it, mama. We did it. I did it for. Yes, yes, yes. We did it, mama. We did it. The game will never be the same. We did it, mama. We did it. I did it for. Triumphant, born with pride and abundance. Look up to the sky, hide a little smile and amusement. Never grown accustomed to lose and live and die for the love of this music. Cabela thrives when the times are the toughest and truest. Keep in mind when the universe gets aligned. The remnants of this verse are injected into your spine. There'll be evidence of this platform, we rock it all the time. Better in what we stand for, the anchor and the line straight. Slap on the choke if anybody provokes. for the game. We did it, mama. I did it for. Yes, sir. Mama, we did it. The game will never be the same. We did it, mama. I did it for. Fuck the alliance and tech, let it rock it with Irish science. Silencing all these idiots caught up in all their ignorance. Two clans fighting under the same banner. We all got love for this ground game, and that's all that matters. In the balance of the teachings of the Grand Master, I'm trying to master the system, that's what I'm after. And stay true to the craft, spark trees to relax. Old school lyrical lace in the track. And I'm working the angles, only sharp and precise, man. Back in the day when I was learning to rock in this mic, paying homage to the classic shit. Dilated, undisputed heavyweights repping Los